Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to episode 29 of the Diversey BW Hotelier GM show in this third season. While we shall turn the spotlight on one of India's most sought after hospitality destinations, Goa, let me park in over here the date of the show. We're on Thursday, the 27th of February at 4 p.m. And it's momentous as we step into the final stages of this season. How do the hotels in Goa attract premium travelers in an increasingly competitive landscape? Beyond iconic beaches, nightlife, and peak season frenzy, Goa has evolved into a 365-day destination. But how do hotels sustain demand beyond the high season? From monsoon tourism to MICE, wellness retreats to experiential stays, today's discussion will dive deep into strategies that keep Goa's rooms sold out year-round. Appropriately, the topic of our show today is sun, sand, and sold-out rooms, the business of Goa's year-round magnetism. Permit me to get rolling with the show by bringing in one of the finest hoteliers that this industry has and somebody who is the area director operations for North Goa and also the general manager for Taj Holiday Village Goa at IHCL, Gaurav Miglani. He needs no introduction. Welcome to the show, Gaurav.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Always a pleasure to be on your show. And good evening, everybody. This is my third show with Bhuvanesh, and each time that I've been here, it keeps becoming more and more interesting. So thank you, Bhuvanesh, for having me as a moderator for the first time.
Those are very kind words, yes. And many more together. Thank you for being here. Right, Gaurav is one of the most gracious and warm people that you'll ever meet. Thank you, Gaurav. Now, Gaurav, with your permission, I'll bring in the other speakers.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right. First of the blocks is my good friend, Sachin Maheshwary, who's the complex general manager for the Novotel Goa Resort and Spa and Novotel Goa Candolim. Welcome to the show, Sachin.
Hi, Bhuvanesh ji. Thank you for referring me as a friend. As always, we have great conversations. And like Gaurav, I also have my third session with you, and this time a new city. So I think I'm looking forward to the interaction.
You're all a blessing for me. Thank you for being there. Next in is my dear friend Surajit, general manager, who's the general manager for the Novotel Goa Panjim. Surajit Chatterjee needs no introduction. He has carved a niche for himself, and this is also my third show with him. Surajit, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Good evening, everyone. And it's great to be here once again, Bhuvanesh. And I welcome everyone to the show. and we look forward to the interactions.
Thank you, Dada. Next in is Vishal Pathak, my second show with him. He is the General Manager, Radisson Blue Resort, Goa, Cavelossim Beach. Welcome to the show, Vishal.
Thank you, Bhuvanesh. Good to be back.
Always nice to have you back. Thank you for being there.
Always a pleasure.
Not the least, Harshad Nalawade. He's the General Manager of the Doubletree by Hilton, Goa and Panjim. My second show with you, Harshad. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. And it's always refreshing to be a part of these sessions. I'm looking forward to this session led by Mr. Miglani, and a big hello and good evening to all the fellow panelists.
You're kind. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, friends. Let me get rolling. Let me get rolling with the first question to you, Gaurav, to set the context of the show. Let's talk about breaking seasonality. Goa has historically been known for extreme seasonality, with peak months driving maximum revenue. In your words, what are the most effective strategies that you've seen for maintaining demand throughout the year? You know, you lord over a significant part of Goa. You head North Goa, so you're the best person to answer that.
And I think the topic that you've chosen for today is very apt. If you were to permit, I'll probably add one more word to it, and it would be sun, sand, rains, and the sold-out rooms, because I don't think the magic of Goa lasts anymore only with sun and sand. I think people have discovered an absolutely brilliant, absolute new side of Goa, which is the monsoons.
Yes.
You know, earlier, Goa had two distinct seasons. You had October to March, and then you had April to September. And one would imagine that while everybody worked extremely hard October to March, April to September, everybody was on leave. But unfortunately for the hoteliers, that's no longer the case. I think Goa as a destination has evolved. People have realized there's a lot more to Goa as just opposed to sun and sand. Monsoons today have become, I think, an integral part of Goa tourism. And that's probably over the last 6-7 years, maybe 8 years, that people have realized the beauty of Goa just doubles during the monsoons. You know, the city turns green. While the beaches may be inaccessible, I think there's so much more that Goa offers during the monsoon that one's not necessarily able to enjoy during the peak season. So as far as IHCL is concerned, I think we're pretty blessed to have a portfolio that covers essentially all parts of Goa, right from the north to the south, with price points that match all possible budgets. But I'll restrict my answer to specifically the two resorts in North Goa, which is Taj Holiday Village and Taj Fort Aguada, which have been around for almost 50 years and 42 years respectively. I remember coming here as a kid, and even when I joined the Taj, I think the first hotel that I ever took my holiday plan was at Holiday Village, Goa. So it remains one of my most favorite hotels. I clearly remember coming here during the months of February and March. It would start getting warmer after that. And the hoteliers would all say that, I'm glad you've come at the right time. Come April, the city would be absolutely empty. The last time when I came was in July, and that was to take the handover at Holiday Village, Goa. And I found a completely different Goa this time. The street was still bustling. The shacks were closed, but the restaurants on the street were still pretty packed. There were people that were enjoying a different kind of Goa that I had not seen earlier. And I think that has been the key turnaround for Goa. So from remaining largely a seasonal destination, it's now a year-end destination now. Frankly, if you ask me, I think there are two things that change between these two seasons. So while October to March still attracts the high-end tourism, wherein the average spend is far greater, April to September, you're still getting the occupancy numbers in, though the ADRs may have slightly dropped. But I think Goa today is a year-round destination. There's nothing that changes anything about that.
Yeah, you know, we're actually also reinventing and rediscovering. And as we do that, we started flattening the seasonality, so to say. So it's very interesting because you will not believe it. We all know Shrad, right? So what have the retailers invented? The retailers have invented the Shrad sale. Right. So typically when people would not buy, there is a sale, there are discounts, and people are flocking to the, flocking to the stores and they're buying. So I guess monsoon is an opportunity because there are certain places which are not fairly well done by the monsoon, like up in the north. So I guess that's an amazing opportunity. Thank you, Gaurav. This is your show. So let me hand over the reins to you. and I'll sit back and watch the action from the sides.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Being a moderator is not an easy task, and I realize that today. But the best part is you have a panel that's very, very diverse. I think a panel which is extremely experienced. So the expectation out of the show is that the five of us will have a lot of fun, while you'll be around looking at us having fun and maybe pitching in with a bit of fun as well. So we'll dive in straight. And the first question, obviously, I think is to my very, very dear friend and a very old colleague, Sachin. He and I go a long way back. I think we started our careers together. He was my senior at Catering College, 1 year senior to me, and then we worked together at Taj Mahal, Bombay for the longest time.
Oh, really?
And today, we are fortunate to be working in the same part of Goa. We do catch up as friends. So, Sachin, the first question for you. And again, we talk about monsoon tourism. We've spoken about this earlier. Goa during the monsoons turns magical. I think it's very beautiful. And Goa is actually actively promoting the monsoon season as a unique travel experience. So what are some of the initiatives that you've taken at the Novotel complex to attract travelers during these months?
Thanks, Gaurav, for the lovely introduction. Again, we are all friends, and then, it's always good to be talking to friends here. And Bhuvanesh, you create this environment. I think that's fantastic. But I also love the way you outsource your responsibility of asking questions to Mr. Gaurav Miglani, the moderator of the show. But it's great to, have fun, guys. I think I'll just cue on from where Gaurav mentioned about Goa changing its look during the monsoons. And, when Portuguese came into Goa, it was called the Golden Goa. And because of the vibrancy, the sand and everything. But I think we need to move to a point where we should also call it Green Goa, because I think the kind of greenery that exists, which is not there in any of the metros, also, and we should probably use this as a, marketing beacon and, drive tourism and marketing activities based on this initiative of Green Goa. What will happen in this period is the approximate ADR drop is about 20 to 25% between peak season and off-peak season. So what are we getting here? We're getting value seekers, and and you mentioned about the sale, but obviously we don't call it a sale, but we call it a, more of a value buy period. And Goa has probably much before us has evolved into this destination, which used to go into, mid 50% occupancies to now high 80% occupancies even during monsoons. So what are we talking about? We're talking about escaping over tourism. There are a lot of value seekers which come during this time who are there for a longer stay period and will continue to stay and utilize this facility. So we are now seeing, unlike earlier on where, all the restaurants would completely die out, now we still see some restaurants open. We still some activities. In fact, 1 or 2 shacks also at the corners you will still find open, which will be serving, the vibrancy that is existing around during a peak season as well. We look at value seekers in terms of also the wellness people or the spiritual side people. And that also we see in our hotel, which come a little longer stays during weekdays or weekends. And they are here for either yoga, either for some sort of a spirituality, or for just, relaxation. And because we have some great facilities which provide this sort of an activity. And, the biggest piece, and we can't miss it with the MICE. The MICE is the one which anchors the entire business piece. If you see year round, we do about 25, 26% MICE, but actually the main push, about 40, 45% is during this period itself. So our entire segment breakup with 40, 45% MICE happens here. If you see your entire incentives and entire dealer meets and your reward and recognition programs start post-March, and you can see them all lined up right up till October. So we've got a right fill into this space, and we've got enough MICE facilities in our hotel. Between the 2 hotels that I manage, we have more than 20,000 square feet of covered banquet space, which we give out to people for large meetings or for breakaway halls. So I think that's my take on the Green Goa during monsoons.
That was a pretty interesting take.
Very interesting.
And I'm glad you brought up the topic of MICE, and I think that is what sustains hotels in Goa during the monsoons. And the Novotel Goa complex that you manage, I think, has the right MICE facilities with indoor banquet venues to attract MICE during the monsoon season. So this brings me to the next question, and this automatically comes to Surajit, who manages one of the finest hotels in the city's capital, which is the Novotel Goa Panjim. So Surajit, how is the Novotel Goa Panjim tapping into Goa's increasing MICE potential? I'm sure there's a lot of mice that you guys rely on, so we'll definitely want to learn from you.
Hi, Gaurav. Good evening once again. Good evening, everybody. Great question. So I have been in Goa for almost 5 years now, opening 2 hotels. It was Holiday Inn first, and now this hotel, Novotel Goa Panjim. We are just open for 4 months now, and being in mid of the city of Panjim, which is majorly depend upon business traveler, MICE, casino business, is the more three verticals which I look at, and which the city does among our competition hotel with two Taj and the Hilton as well. At Novotel Goa Panjim, we have about 10,000 square feet of banqueting with a beautiful ballroom. MICE has always been one of the key focus, especially being in the city. One good part about this area is we get a lot of non-residential queries as well. Starting from social events like birthday parties and anniversaries to conferences, day conferences, high tea, a lot of government events which we have done typically where all the politicians keep visiting us. A lot of meetings from CII and BNI and all those things. So it's a very mixed, diverse kind of MICE business which we do in the hotel. Being a new hotel, of course, there are challenges to step into the market and convert business. However, as again, a new hotel, so we have beautiful ballroom, a very refreshing meeting rooms with high-end technology, which gives us one step ahead to convert those business, and people are appreciating it. We have got great reviews from the events which we have done, and as I said, it's diverse event from government events to social events to small exhibitions, and with new options coming in, we have got I won't say it's a challenge, I would say rather a great opportunity for Novotel Goa Panjim to step into the market and convert those business. Of course, it is difficult for a guest to experience the hotel for the first time. However, I take it more as a because it's a modern hotel and new technology has come up. I take it that every business which comes in will definitely use us for future events. So we have very, very good facilities, very modern rooms, very modern meeting rooms with one of our meeting rooms is called a flexi meeting room, which has sofas to bean bags to chairs and tables. Also, we have a pantry attached to it with coffee machines and everything. So whatever a guest needs in today's environment is what we offer at Novotel Goa Panjim, and which is quite upmarket, which is quite modern. So I feel that it will not be difficult, but it will be going ahead. We will offer something different to each of our client, or for a social event, or for any kind of MICE event people are looking at. So I feel that this hotel is at the right place, opened at the right time during the season last year, and we have already done quite a few number of events, and I'm looking forward to enhance MICE in this hotel for future.
Wonderful, Surajit, and all the best to you and the wonderful team at Novotel Goa Panjim. I'm sure with the vibrancy that Panjim offers, Novotel Goa has a large market waiting for it.
Yes, thank you so much.
So now I think it's time to move from the vibrancy of Panjim to the wonderful serene beaches of the south. Vishal, next question for you. I think you run one of the finest resorts in South Goa, the Radisson Blue Resort Goa.
Thank you.
South Goa for long has been known for its serene luxury. While everybody said that the north is where the party scene happens, the south is where the calm and luxury meet each other. How does the Radisson Blue position itself as a premium destination in this segment?
So you're absolutely right when you say that. I mean, Goa has so much to offer. For anybody who travels to Goa is coming to experience something or the other, be it the beaches or the vibrant nightlife of the North District, or the new happening restaurant scene that is in Goa. And now with the new push by the government of Goa for to look beyond these stereotypical experiences looking at the rural tourism and the hinterland tourism that they're pushing at, I think it has everything to offer. So a traveler can choose exactly what he's looking for and what he's expecting. And what stands out for south of Goa is the peace and tranquility that still prevails there. In south you still get to experience the quintessential Goan feel, the susegad, casual, laid back life, which is not so much in the north, which is more known for the party place. So in my opinion, the high-end traveler doesn't mind going the extra distance to the south to experience this luxury. And at Radisson, all our resorts and hotels are positioned to be the best in class in every location. So our resort, for example, in South Goa is located on a pristine white sand beach. And the rooms are all spread across lush green gardens, and that gives a very tranquil and serene environment for all our guests who are staying with us. But to ensure that the guests keep coming in and we are able to give them that kind of an experience, it is very important to upgrade the product. So over the last 2 years, for example, we've renovated all our rooms. When we started, the basic amenities that are taken for granted today were not there, like USB chargers by the bedside, multiple charging points. Nowadays, it's common in all hotels. So we have to constantly upgrade ourselves and be relevant to the existing thing. And so I think a combination of luxury, exclusive experiences, and curated meals. And of course, the most important is the impeccable service. And all this at a very optimum price is what I think makes the difference for us. And that's what's been a success for us in South Goa, for the South Goa Hotel.
I'm glad you touched on all the right topics here. So optimal luxury, right price point, experience beyond the regular. And I think these are all the things that we needed to talking about to position Goa as an all-year-round destination. I'll give you a small example. I had no clue about it. So somebody invited me on an e-bike tour to Beaver Island last Sunday. I think it's probably the most magical place I've seen.
True.
And this company that organizes these e-bike tours does island hopping tours across 4 islands today. And the experience itself is so great that you take your car, get on a ferry, get on the other side. There's somebody waiting with an e-bike for you. They take you all around the island. You have lunch at one of the Goan Portuguese homes there. They show you the most magical sunset from the other side of Beaver Island when you're looking towards Panjim. And I think this is the sort of tourism that people need to be made aware of, that it's not just the usual Kalangut, Baga, beaches, bars, shacks. There's so much more.
Yeah.
And hinterland tourism, I think what you spoke about, is the next big thing. And that's where the real experience comes through.
Yeah.
So thank you, Vishal. And now moving over to Harshad. And I think he has a tough one. Because, for long, we've realized on rooms as the mainstay business, food and beverage contributing to roughly 20-30%. But there is still a large alternate revenue stream that remains largely untapped. So, Harshad, what are you guys doing to tap this alternate revenue stream to ensure profitability all year round?
Right. Thank you, Gaurav. And interesting point you made just before the question you asked. So my property is located close to Old Goa. And this happens to be a location which is, as we call it, the typical Goa beyond beaches kind of a destination. And while we touched upon how Goa's seasonality is flattening now, there's still a lot that goes into cope with periods of lowered occupancy or lower demand. And from that, additional revenue streams become very, very critical to sustain hotels throughout the year. In addition to that, there's also an increasing expectation from the travelers to have new experiences which go beyond just how the room is, or what kind of food and beverage we are offering at the property. So keeping that in mind, we do work on several factors. One of them actually is these immersive experiences, adventure tourism, as we like to call it. So we do tie up with some local experience curators like Soul Traveling, because Diwar Island, the island hopping that you just mentioned, we have two islands, Sharao and Diwar, which are very close by. Nature walks, heritage walk in Fontaines, which is again 15 minutes away from the hotel, are curated by these local companies which we tie up with. It adds to our guest experience, gives us a boost in our transportation business, and it also is something that we use as a USP when you're visiting here. So we've got surrounded with a lot of experiential things like the old Goa churches. So we do a temple trail of sorts for guests. We do a church trail or the island hopping, as I mentioned. And these are experiences which are not only limited to leisure travelers. There are times when we have corporate and MICE groups who are also quite keen to indulge in these experiences, and we've done coaches going over to some of these destinations and experiencing that. So that's something that really helps. We do tie-ups with some of the local luxury cruise boat operators. So there are yachts where we do catering. We recommend them again to, there have been weddings where there's been an after party that's happened on the boat, an early evening after party, if I may call that. There have been some great experiences on some of these cruises that we tie up with. In addition to that, on-property revenue generating opportunities come from a retail outlet, which sometimes is tied up with a luxury brand, but many a times what we see a great feedback for is handcrafted souvenirs coming from some local artisanal brand that we tie up with. So an online retail offering is something that also supports the additional revenue stream. Most of our hotels in Goa are known to have state-of-the-art wellness facilities and spas, and to capitalize on this throughout the year, we extend these services to our local enthusiasts also to come up and be a part of a long-term membership program, or simply indulge in some sessions that are organized time to time with some of our wellness moderators on the property. And finally, some sustainability initiatives, which again have a big calling now. So simple things like a EV charging station, although it's not really a revenue generating opportunity that we focus on, but does add to the revenue eventually. So these are some of the things that we have been working on of late and definitely help us sustain around the year.
Not to forget the casino.
Yes, the place that I and probably Surajit are, casino is something that is bread and butter, as we call it.
Excellent. So that brings me to almost the middle of the show, but let me park one question with you, Gaurav, if I may.
Sure.
All right. So that's the second one for you, Gaurav. I want to pick your mind on luxury and experience-driven stays. I have realized while the old fogs like me are out for it, we're short for ideas, but the younger generation is really going for it, because unlike us who are saving, the youngsters have saving not on top of their agenda. So tell me, Goa is witnessing a shift towards luxury and experiential tourism. How are hotels innovating to capture high-spending travelers looking for more than just a beach holiday?
So that's an interesting one, actually, because luxury and experience have always gone hand in hand. And we always were taught while we were growing up that, along with luxury, if you want to offer luxury, there has to be a suitable experience to complement that luxury element. And Goa, I think, is blessed with some of the finest resorts, whether it's the north or the south. I think the quality of resorts is by far really, really good in Goa. And as far as the experience concerned, I think today, if you ask me what is luxury, luxury is time and space. If I have the ability to spend time and if I have the space to utilize my time, that is luxury. And I think most of our resorts in Goa offer ample amount of time and space for that. So if I was to talk about specifically, say, let's say Taj Holiday Village, Taj Fort Aguada, because those are the resorts that I sit at and manage directly. We have almost close to about 100 acres between these two resorts. The views are completely unmatched. The offering is that of 285 rooms spread over two locations, both being right next to each other but offering two completely different experiences. So while Fort Aguada is a beautiful hill resort that offers serene views of the ocean right from Candolim to Baga, Holiday Village is like a village. And I think it offers that space, that comfort, that the moment you step through the lobby and enter the resort, it just slows you down. And our guests at both these resorts use the facilities at both the resorts. So it's pretty seamless between the two. There are shuttle cars that operate between the two hotels. So if you're a guest staying in one hotel, you have the ability to have breakfast at either of the two coffee shops, the option to use 3 pools between the two hotels, and an option of 8 food and beverage dining destinations. So there is an experience there for everybody in terms of food and beverage, in terms of the pool experience, in terms of the Jiva Wellness Spa that we have, which is tucked in between the two resorts, and it's today probably one of the finest spa experiences. We also even have a treatment at the spa, which is specially curated and offered only in Goa, which utilizes ingredients which are specific and native to Goa. So there's coconut butter that's being used. There's coconut that's being used in those treatments. So this is a treatment that's specific only to Goa and is not offered anywhere else. If you talk about sports, we have an integrated sports center between the two hotels. A tennis court. We've just recently launched something called the Aguada Pickleball Arena, where we have 4 pickleball courts that people have the ability to book and use at any point of time. There is adventure sports that happen at the Fort Aguada, where we have a zip line, we have an entire rope course, rappelling down. On the other hand, at the village, which is more family friendly, you have probably the finest kids play area in the kids room. We've now tied up with BeLive, which is a company that offers e-bike tours all across Candolim. This is the same company that operates the tours at Diversey. We also have a tie with another company called Make It Happen that organizes these curated experiential tours, not just in the Candolim belt, but also as far as South Goa. So there is also a cashew fairy tasting. There is a walk down Fontanas. There is island hopping. There is an experience which talks about poi making. So they take you really to a poi factory where you learn the art of poi making. You see it happening in front of your eyes. So there is an experience for every age group, for every segment that we have. So while we still remain focused as high-end FIT resorts that also dabble a bit between MICE and weddings, but I think there is an experience built in for everybody. So whether it's families, solo travelers, couples, elderly, I think there's an experience built in for everybody. And that's the kind of experience that most resorts in Goa are offering. Because at the end of the day, if you are in the business of luxury, you need to be able to offer that experience.
Excellent. So we're now at the tipping point where we must take a short 30-second commercial break, and I'll be back soon. Thank you, Diversey. Diversey has been a great support for the industry and for the GM show. I mean, the GM show is for the industry. They help us carry the message of this platform to the entire industry and beyond. What is beyond? Beyond is all the aspiring hoteliers who are in hospitality schools or who are looking to carve a career and are out to choose a path. They go to commerce, arts, or hospitality. Hospitality is a brilliant option. Gentlemen and ladies, be there. Watch these general managers. They're ladies and gentlemen of great stock. So be there. Now, Gaurav, going ahead, we shall, for better timekeeping, we'll try and keep every response within 2.5 minutes. So on to you now.
Perfect. And I think we'll quickly jump on to the next question, and that's for Sachin again. And Sachin briefly touched on this topic earlier, and this is the topic of sustainability. So Sachin, this is now becoming a key decision factor for travelers. What steps has the Novotel Goa taken to align with eco-friendly hospitality trends?
You don't really know time goes by, but I will keep it very crisp now.
Hanji.
So, I think sustainability is the buzzword around, and I think that's the sort of bedrock pillar that has been
As
driving.
long as you're not listening to Donald Trump.
No. Yeah, so I think everybody is listening and not listening.
Yes.
to him. So it's a 3.72 trillion market, right, in 2024, and predicted to grow to about 5.67 trillion, which is compounded annual growth rate of about 14.7%. I mean, this is big numbers till 2028. Who's driving it? Who's fueling it? It's being fueled by the Gen Zs and the millennials, and that is our new travelers, and that is the people who are going to get richer by the new tax regimes and the new reduction in home loans and their concept of not saving, which I think Bhuvanesh ji elucidated earlier as well. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to ensure that we set up ourselves in a way where we are catering to this sort of generation of tourists that is coming to our hotels. By the way, Bhuvanesh ji, you're not older, like you said earlier. So what are the three key pillars?
Age is only a number, so I'll keep it safe.
So we are Green Key certified, and at Accor we are driving to ensure that all hotels in Accor are Green Key certified. Now, what does it bring in? It brings in reinforced sustainable hotel operations. It brings in embracing sustainable food chain items, and it also brings in a concept of local ecosystem into the hotel. Now, let's look at sustainable hotel operations: bottling plants, charging stations, eco-friendly dispensers, no printed menus in the restaurant, in the rooms anymore, and no single-use plastic being used anywhere. So that's about sustainable hotel operations. Then we talk about sustainable food chain. What is sustainable food chain? There is no cage-free egg. We are using cage-free eggs now. Though the price gap is a little higher, we're trying to mitigate that price gap. We're looking at free-range chicken in our menus and increasing use of free-range chicken in our menus. In fact, 2025 mandate is that we should completely switch over to cage-free eggs in our hotel operation. We are not using any endangered species in our menus. Our global mandate is to ensure that 25% of the or more of the menu should be vegetarian, so that people are going for plant options. Fortunately for India, this is a little lower bar because Indians have a lot of vegetarian options as well. But globally, countries like Philippines and all, it's a little hard stand in the Middle East for them to get there. I'm also the food and beverage alchemist in India because I'm into these discussions on how we can move to plant-based alternatives as well. We're also looking at buying local fishes, and we have a tie-up with a global company to create a app-based solution to drive reduction in food waste. And what we are doing is annually we have targets. We have started baseline from last year. This year will be finalized baseline, and then year on year we will look at a 10% reduction in food waste. Our global charter of Accor is to become carbon neutral or net zero by 2050, and it is an announced charter from Paris itself. And it's a big call, and I think we are there working together to making sure that we reach that. And then last is the local ecosystem. I think something is mentioned by Gaurav. Those bike rentals, you talk about local trips, and as a concept it is called Beyond Goa, which is not just the beaches, which is the other parts such as islands and the rivers which that exist within the state. I think these are beautiful places, and I have been fortunate to explore. I think Gaurav has done it recently as well. I think everybody should explore that part of Goa as well.
I was mentioning now, sustainability is no longer a desired item on the bucket list. It's definitely a must-do and something that all of us will need to embrace. So good to hear about all these initiatives. Surajit, the next one for you, and this is all about experiential offerings. What kind of activities or packages have you introduced at Novotel Goa Panjim to differentiate guest experience from traditional leisure stays?
Great question, Gaurav. Thank you. So being a new hotel, we have looked at the latest trend. As Sachin said, Gen Z and millennials look at latest stuff. So first and foremost, we have looked at technology. So our rooms the hotel is 100% sustainable. our rooms doesn't have a key card slot. The entire room is on sensor, including the air condition. And every room has got a balcony, so that's again on sensor. So the entire room is on electricity. It's an open cupboard and open washroom concept. So that's one thing which is a new thing for a guest. So the moment a guest enters the room, he feels like putting the key in the key slot and he doesn't find one. So we have got queries from guests as well. But that's one thing which we are the first hotel in Goa. In fact, only the second hotel in entire core system. So that's one thing. So technology we offer. The entire ballroom is on a technology. We have different light options. You can do your meeting sitting at one place, operating your LCD projectors, lights, everything. So that's one thing which we look at, and it is creating a wow experience for our guests. We are also customizing because it's not a leisure hotel. It's more of a business MICE and casino driven hotel. We are customizing packages for guests. So a lot of casino guests wants everything in the package. So we have customized packages for them, and we have an in-house casino as well, where they just check in and they just check out with spa, with salon, with the food menus. Everything is included, and we have a flexibility of either you dine it in the room, or you dine in the casino, or you dine it in the restaurants, wherever you want to dine. So that is one thing where we are very, very flexible, and we have customized packages for the casino guests. Similarly, we have crew also in house. So we have customized menus for the crew, and we have the crew coming in every 2 hours or 3 hours, late night, early morning. So we have customized food menus for them, and we keep changing these food menus so that they don't get bored. And some of the captains, they keep repeating as well. So that's one thing, and they are extremely happy because we have taken them out from another hotel, and being a new hotel, people do expect a lot of new things. So we have done that. We have also done some exclusive add-ons to their packages, like, giving them live music options, a photo booth, a themed decoration for the guest. So if a guest is celebrating anniversary, before the guest tells us, and it is all set and ready for them, and we offer them with a package, so they don't need to pay separately or ask for it separately. So we have created that kind of a package. Our meeting rooms and ballrooms have trendy designs, and keeping the new trends and modern stuff in mind. Again, if a guest is having 3 days of continuous meetings, we offer them different themes for different days, inclusive in the package, so that guest doesn't come and, next day they're tired for a cocktail dinner and they come in the room next day for a meeting, and it's very refreshing. A different theme light in the banquet altogether, which is already there, and we change the lights with our technology help. So all these things makes a lot of difference to the as a new hotel, to the experience which we create for our guests. And again, as guests requires, we always customize for them. There are requests, and we are very, very flexible in terms of pricing as well as customizing things. And we have all those options, from a live counter in a regular API menu, which a lot of hotels, they differ, and they say we can't do that. So we are flexible in doing such things, offering a snacky meal instead of a lunch, or a heavy high tea instead of a light high tea, and giving a bento box for a lunch for small meetings, to a thali served. They don't need to go out inside the meeting room. So these are small add-ons and customizations which we have done to enhance our guest experience in F&B as well as in the rooms.
Wonderful, Surajit. And I'm pretty intrigued to come and see the hotel now.
Absolutely, yeah. You should. It's actually very beautifully done and very, very different hotel.
So, if you don't mind, I want to slip in my third question also to you, because you've already touched on the subject of technology in rooms. You've spoken about how you leverage technology. Along with technology, how are you leveraging digital marketing and online platforms to capture a larger share of business and leisure travelers? What is the focus on digital marketing and online platform?
Absolutely. So, this is again, marketing from social media to print media has moved more into digital marketing now in today's world. And of course, you see people booking their rooms through mobile more than a desktop or anywhere else, right? Or calling the hotel. We have got almost 30-35% of OTA bookings coming through the mobile app, which is the change the hotel industry has seen, and especially in a leisure destination like Goa. So enhanced OTA presence and digital ads is what we are looking at. Again, being a new hotel, it takes time to build up and show ourselves on the top 10 hotels in Panjim itself, because there are so many hotels present. So we keep changing our digital ads and we keep enhancing our OTA presence. We come out with packages, being a new hotel, of course, targeting the leisure market. What we also do is website optimization, so continuous enhancement of our website with improved experience, faster loading times, and seamless navigation. So the websites of different hotels have changed completely. So when a guest goes and checks into the website, we need to look at how easy for him to do the booking or understand the facilities all over. Social media targeting and engagement. So a lot of engagement activities on Insta, of course, is very, very important, especially for food and beverage. So we do, being a new hotel again, we have a lot of invitees from Insta bloggers and YouTubers coming into the hotel and spreading the word and spreading us in their profile to get guests. Content marketing and digital PR. So we have a PR agency, of course, who does PR for us across the country. And content marketing, again, the right content, the right word to spread. Like we have a specialty restaurant which we recently launched, and our focus is there. So how do we get non-residential business to the restaurant is all about content and what kind of activities you do on the site, especially on Facebook and Insta. So that's very important. F&B implication and strategies, partnerships with Zomato, with Swiggy, with Book My Show, with Easy Diner. So all these things helps a lot, and I have seen that in my hotel, which is a new hotel, these sites have helped a lot to get footfall of non-residential business in the hotel, especially in our specialty restaurant. So continuous upgradation of our content, continuous focus on different aspect of marketing, with creating guests to look at it and let's experience is what we focus on the digital marketing part. So I would say that's about it. I mean, these are basic stuff which we do.
That's a pretty elaborate response, I should say. So now, moving over from trying to attract new clientele via digital and social media to the age-old technique of trying to retain our guests with us. So Vishal, as far as loyalty and repeat guests are concerned, what strategies do you guys drive to ensure guest loyalty and repeat business?
So, in my opinion, driving loyalty and repeat business requires a combination of multiple things, including personalized experiences, exceptional service, and strategic incentives for the regulars, your loyalty programs, and all sorts of things. When you talk about personalization for a guest, it's very important that the guest feels part of a family. So if he's coming back, he should feel like that he's coming back to a home. That's what we say. Welcome home, welcome back home to a regular guest or whatever. So at Radisson, we encourage our team to remember their preferences, the guest preferences, especially the repeat guests, because anyone who comes in should be welcomed with his favorite drink, or we should know his dining habits, special requirements in the room, etc. Whatever's the regular that the guest would want in a room, especially if he's coming for second, third, or fourth time. The team and the hotel should be aware of that. So focus on encouraging our team to remember those and link it to the guest. This coupled with exceptional customer service, where the team strives to achieve top-notch service in every interaction with the guest. That is the key for the expectation, to meet the expectations of the guests. Also, we do not end the experience or the relationship at the time of checkout. We continue this engagement with our guests even when they are home. So that kind of helps a lot when the guest is deciding where to go. So obviously the last recall is the email or the call or a message that has come from the hotel. At Radisson, another very good thing is our loyalty program. The Radisson Reward program is very specific for exclusive members only benefits. So a lot of our regular guests have become members, and that encourages them to keep coming to a Radisson hotel. And as all of you must be aware that at Radisson, we are trying to do a hotel every 400 kilometers. So the driving experience, a lot of people love to drive to their holidays. So we're trying to do a hotel every 400 kilometers. So if you're driving, you tend to stay in all our hotels, and that kind of just builds that family that and kind of brick walls a guest to come as a repeat guest. And for our 3 hotels that are here in Goa, I'm happy to say that we have a very large repeat clientele, both international as well as domestic. And this number increased by about 7% last year itself. So I think we're on the right track.
No, and I'm glad. And I'm sure, in the long run, it's repeat guests that help us drive revenues.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure data analytics play a big role in personalizing guest experience.
Absolutely. I mean, if you don't have data, like anything else, data is king, as they say. So you have to have that correct data and clean and accurate data, because guest history it plays a very important role when you're trying to get that customer back. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to make him feel like he's coming back home, you must get his room ready just the way he likes it. For example, when I enter a hotel, the first thing I do is clear the table. For all the collateral goes into the drawer for me. Then I am set. So these small things, although everybody knows, but if it's there in your database and when a guest is coming and you've already done it for that particular guest, that just adds that much more personalized effect. Similarly for food preferences or whatever, if captured correctly and, circulated before, like we have this evening meeting where we have discussed all arrivals of the next day, wherein for all our repeat guests, we read out whatever the preferences and all we've kind of, stored. So analyzing the data is where it's important. And what also is important to track the data as to where is this guest coming from and what are they coming from. That helps in encouraging them to, bring in more guests. For example, if a guest is coming from Delhi, so where do they stay? What circles do they move around? So analyzing that kind of a data that is captured is also important. What is he traveling for? Are they coming to experience or celebrate a special occasion, for example? So keep a track of the special occasions and track the guests so that every time he's coming, we do that. And we have 3 hotels in Goa, so it's not that he's coming back and doing the same thing. We have the opportunity to give him to experience different, like you mentioned, Taj also has. I mean, Taj has much more than what we have, but even we have all these 3 hotels in different. Right in the north is the Mandrim Hotel, then Kandoli is the nightlife place, and of course south is for the serenity. So, but at the end of it, what is the most important is the data accuracy. Because you don't want to send like a congratulations note to say Mr. Khanna, because at times that might create a huge problem for Mr. Khanna.
So you better send it.
So we need to have that accuracy of data, which is most critical.
Thank you. That was extremely.
No, but he's absolutely right. You don't want to congratulate Mr. Khanna on his anniversary when he's actually staying with his girlfriend, or the other way around. No, and so moving to Harshad now, and Harshad, technology plays a big role as far as hospitality is concerned now. So how are you guys leveraging technology to enhance guest experience and to streamline your operations? Quick, short 1-minute response.
Technology obviously plays a big part, and it is evolving, and how every single day we hear new things. I think the session last week, which extensively covered AI on one of the panel discussions, did a deep dive on how technology, especially influenced by AI, is coming up in a big way. I'm going to quickly touch upon a few things that we are doing with Hilton at the property level. One of my favorite things that has come up recently is integrated real-time guest communication app where we link the guest through WhatsApp. Now, you may say that a WhatsApp chat can be done with the guest anyway, but here anybody from the team can respond to a guest query real time. So the response time ideally is targeted less than 1 minute. It also enables us to share with guests any important information for events happening at the hotel. A guest service directory can be shared in the form of a PDF, menus. So it's a very, very engaging application, and it's not only during the stay, it can be initiated prior to the stay. So we start engaging with the guests. Now, while every hotel brand mobile app has chat enabled, but through this particular application, we are connected to the guest as a hotel team before the stay, during, and even after, to ensure that the entire experience has been seamless. So that is something that is a big factor that helps us use technology to our advantage. We all have heard about mobile ordering solutions and the way F&B is becoming more seamless through QR scans, not only to read menu through the QR scans, but also these emerging apps where you can order end-to-end without any human intervention. You will have food served to your room. It's almost like ordering through Swiggy or Zomato. Right from payment to ordering, these apps are really getting smarter by the day. The digital check-ins, being able to select your own room like you select a seat in a movie theater, is something that is again getting enhanced further and being used more and more by our guests as we progress, which also includes a digital check-in experience where you don't have to go through a reg card, a physical. And a lot of the technology that is emerging is also supporting the sustainability initiatives, which we were talking about a little while back, where it is going paperless and it is also reducing the carbon footprint, right? So a smooth check-in, which is paperless, a contactless checkout where you can simply pay by scanning a QR and have your invoices emailed to you, also have been around for a while but are getting more and more widely used by the guests and are emerging better. There was a bit about marketing that I wanted to touch upon, but I think we've fairly discussed that. I just want to add that the way we can curate what marketing can focus on based on demographics of our guests today is phenomenal. We can choose guest preferences to target what they want to read or see through the marketing platforms that we have today. Virtual tours are getting better. A guest can see every corner of the hotel without having to physically come here. Augmented reality comes into the picture. If you're doing an event at the hotel, you can actually try a few setups without having to ask dimensions to an events team for that matter. So augmented reality, virtual tours are playing a big part. And finally, the energy management systems of the hotel getting smarter, helping us being more efficient, managing our costs better, and again, supporting the sustainability initiatives by tracking the water usage or the energy consumption. So I hope I try to keep it under a minute, but these are some of the key technology-driven initiatives at the property or as a brand.
Thank you, Harshad. You may not have maintained the 1 minute deadline, but I think you've elaborated on it beautifully. And I'm pretty kicked about the integrated solution that you spoke about. It can really help us market our in-house facilities far better. My next question to you was on local community integration, but I think you've already answered that as a part of the first question when we spoke about alternate revenue streams. And I think you touched upon the aspect of how you integrate the local community with your experiences fairly well on that. So I think then I have to come back to my old friend Sachin once again with the last question.
Yes.
And so Sachin, with the Goa emerging as a wellness destination, how is the Novotel capitalizing on this? How are you integrating wellness offerings to attract the health conscious travelers? Quick, short answer.
So I think we have a very big wellness piece in our hotel. The market is growing at a CAGR of 9.3%. So in our hotel, if you see 2% of our GOP drops down straight from the wellness segment, pure revenue coming into the profit line, which means that we've got a very large footprint of a Balinese spa in the hotel. And we've got another hotel which has got a very nice Samaya spa and a Warren Trichomy spa. So these two spa concepts completely dissimilar but providing unique services to the guest. We've also got a unique hammam experience for a guest, which actually no other property, not many properties keep with them. And it is an authentic hammam experience that you can get at our hotel. We also have created signature yoga decks, tranquility zone, spiritual spaces and all that. So this is one part of the spa which is looking at a spiritual side or a relaxation side. Now I want to also touch upon the other side of the wellness, which is also the kick of dopamine that you get. We also have a casino in the hotel. And that, having said that, we cater to these two dissimilar segments, but we have both of them in our hotels. So that's my very short response to your answer.
Do we get friends and family at the Balinese spa?
Listen, gentlemen, I'm not going away without asking the man on the spot, Gaurav, one last question, whatever be the overflow. Gaurav, I want to pick your mind on regulatory challenges, which is extremely important, and they're becoming difficult by the day. With evolving tourism policies and regulations in Goa, how are hotels adapting to ensure compliance while maintaining profitability and delivering projects on time?
That's why I'm saying, see, the regulatory compliance framework in Goa is similar to that of the other states as well. You require the same number of permissions. You require the same amount of authorities to visit. I think the only additional factors that come in play as far as Goa is concerned is the CRZ, which is very, very strong. And I think CRZ is where a lot of projects get stuck. Compliances with regards to the local panchayat. So every panchayat has a control over the land that fall under their jurisdiction. So not only do you require regulatory compliances from the state authorities, but you also require permissions from the panchayats, which can often get a lot tricky. CRZ has a major role to play. Projects increasingly take longer because you're not able to get all the clearances in time. So while you may be able to get the CRZ, you get stuck at the panchayat level. If you're able to get the panchayat, you may get stuck at the local board level. If Goa can implement a mechanism wherein the government helps the industry get single window clearances, that's the only way you'll be able to get your projects up and running much faster. If your turnaround time is way longer than the other states, it doesn't make the investment as lucrative. And we have to understand Goa anyways is an expensive market as far as coming up with new projects concerned. Cost of construction is high. Cost of labor is way higher because you have to bring in labor from all over the country. I think the only thing that's easy about Goa is getting the excise license in place. So kudos to the government for that. And I hope they continue with that policy. But overall, I think what the need of the hour is a single window clearance as far as all projects that are concerned.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm happy I asked you that. But Gaurav, being human and being greedy are only natural to each other, and I'm greedy and I'm human. All right, so I want to ask 2 or 3 quiz questions, right? Even if there is an overflow of time. Are we game? But I want sharp, cryptic responses. Just raise your hand and we'll ask. According to recent data, what was the average length of stay for leisure travelers in Goa in 2024? 2.8 nights, 3.6 nights, 4.2 nights, 5.1 nights.
2.8.
2.8 is what I would say.
2.8.
Okay. Who else?
2.8.
These are wrong.
I think we all agree on 2.8.
It's 4.2.
It's 4.2 nights?
Yeah.
Oh, that seems way high.
Way high. I was surprised too. Acha, tell me, let me ask, I have a huge choice. Let us stay with, where is that? So let's talk about what is the approximate percentage of Goa's annual room occupancy contributed by MICE and corporate bookings. 10%, 20, 30, 40. Sorry?
20%?
Okay, who else?
30%.
How much?
35.
40%.
40%. I would say 40%. Yeah.
40% for mice, of course.
Harshad?
30.
What was your guess, Vishal?
40%.
Sachin?
30%.
Correct answer is 20. The moderator gets
Moderator
it.
gets it.
All right. Tell me, which segment of Goa's tourism has shown the highest year-on-year growth in revenue? Adventure, wellness, nightlife, MICE.
Right.
Sorry?
My
Nice.
आगे बोलो.
Mice.
Mice,
सारे
mice.
गलत हो. सारे गलत हो.
Nightlife.
नहीं. Wellness. So
Surprising.
these are shockers. These
Yeah.
are complete shockers. So I'll stop at that. I don't want to get more greedy because मेरे को पीछे से मार पड़ेगी. All right. So why don't we have you sum up the show, Gaurav?
No, but thank you so much, Mr. Khanna. I think for putting together this panel, I think the panel is diverse, it's experienced, and broadly represents the entire range of tourism available in Goa. So big thank you to everybody. I think it's been a wonderful, wonderful evening interacting with all of you. Caution, I think I'm pretty excited to come by and see some of the great work that you guys are doing in your hotel. So pardon me if I come to your hotel sooner than what you would have expected.
Why pardon?
Yeah, we look forward.
Right.
We should do that more often.
listen, at the end of it all, we're all in a job and we want to enjoy it and talk to each other.
No, it's been absolutely wonderful afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So let me sum up. Sachin highlighted how Novotel Goa is driving monsoon tourism and sustainability efforts while also tapping into wellness tourism's trend. And wellness is growing, like they say.
yes.
Surajit, who heads a brand new hotel, hardly a year old, emphasized MICE growth, the importance of experiential offerings, and how digital transformation is reshaping guest acquisition. And we shall all come and make the most of your hotel soon. Kyun, Gaurav?
Sure.
Sachin? चलेंगे हर्षद एंड विशाल इसके यहाँ चेक
बिल्कुल,
करके आए.
Sachin has
चलती हैं, इसके सेंसर ठीक चलते हैं नहीं.
Sachin has already experienced it. Please be and please come and have a
पता चला बाथरूम में गए और लाइट ऑफ हो गई.
Great life.
Vishal shared insights on positioning Radisson Blue as a premium South Goa destination, guest loyalty strategies, and the role of data analytics in personalizing guest experiences.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, Harshad Nalawade. He discussed revenue diversification, the impact of technology in hospitality, and how local community integration enhances the authenticity of guest stays. And along with Sachin, he is making the most of the casino effect. So clearly, Goa's hospitality landscape is evolving rapidly, ensuring year-round profitability through innovation, differentiation, and experience-driven travel. I've had a wonderful show. I think we should give it up for Gaurav Miglani for a 10 on 10 stint of moderation, right?
Thank
Well
you.
done, Gaurav. You have a job going, sir. I'm not threatened because बहुत show है. तुम्हारे से करवाऊंगा मैं. And with this, I'm going to wrap up the show. Don't go away yet. I'll be back in another 15 to 20 minutes with my next show. The season 3 is done extremely well, like this show. Great learning for me. You cannot imagine how much I learn. What all do your general managers do? How much detailing do you guys do? Look at what Harshad was saying, Vishal was saying. How do they plan? सारे लोग करते हो, बहुत करते हो, right? And of course, a huge shout out to our audience for tuning in. We're being watched in the subcontinent and beyond. Stay with us as we continue to bring you the sharpest insights and boldest conversations and bright minds. We'll see you in the next episode. Tomorrow is the last day of the season. Watch out for us. Until then, keep innovating, keep excelling, and a huge thank you to Diversey with this video. Thank you, Gaurav, Sachin, Surajit, Vishal, and Harshad. And on your behalf, I also want to thank my colleagues at BW and BW Hotelier for bringing out episodes back to back. Over the last 3 seasons, they burnt midnight oil, great content, great production, and a huge support for this industry and for all of us. Thank you again, Gaurav, Sachin, Surajit, Vishal, and Harshad. God bless you and see
Thank
you
you.
soon. You make our shows look good and our content very rich.
Thank you.
Thank you.